What is up? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon. It is a special episode today. I have a special guest from another podcast, but you all know you're all here. We are talking about Tuesday waiver wires. It is the IDP show. Feel free to ask your offensive questions, but we are trying to do IDP. But today I have KingJosh from the Filthy Fantasy Football Show. Tell us a little about you. What do you do? How long you been doing fantasy football? How do you like it? Guillotine you just got kicked out of. I'm sorry, my friend. And show me and let it all out, man. I need to know your first experience as a guillotine and IDP. Let it all out.
I mean, I'm well, thank you for the kind introduction. And thank you for letting me be on your show. This is very exciting. Hey, look, it's Fish, the other guy on the show.
What's up, man?
What's up, Fish? I'm KingJosh, 1/3 of the Filthy Fantasy Football Show. We are a safe space for foul-mouthed fantasy players out there. So if you want to listen to podcasting that talks dirty, that's us. Been playing fantasy for like 20 years now. Writer, contributor, just big fan. I hate fantasy football though. It breaks my heart all the time. It's the worst because it also makes me a very bad sports gambler. Although this year's been the worst though, because I haven't been this bad at sports betting like this. Green Bay's ruining all my parlays. It's been terrible.
It's kind of crazy this season.
Yeah, that's besides the point. Dude, I see you're a Falcon fan. You guys ruined one of my parlays as well, beating San Francisco. Did not see that coming.
I don't even know how we're tied for first right now, and I thought we were going to be like third or last, and right now we're keeping up. I don't ask me how, but we're doing it. So,
but just a big nerd with fantasy. I run a show with two of my gentleman lovers, the Fantasy Fish and Big Rome. We all grew up together. We're best friends in real life. We like to make man piles together, and we talk, have a good time. But I just got look at Tank. Yeah, I just got booted because my boy Justin Herbert let me down Monday night.
So quick rundown. Tank, what's up, man? So yes, telling you rest in peace. He's a Bears fan. So they give up pretty easy. He was giving up already halfway through Sunday, and I make fun of them all the time. Like, oh, you guys just give up so easy. And then somehow, some way, the night turned where it was you, and I did not expect that.
No.
No. I mean, your boy Rome was barely hanging by a thread last week too, or was it 2 weeks ago? And
the last 2 weeks, he's been bad the last 2 weeks.
Hufanga caught an interception and took it to the house, which saved him. So he was almost out that week. So if it wasn't for that, he would have been done. So it's crazy. Is this your first IDP league?
Yeah, it actually was. It was exciting. Like, it was different because I was adamant. I'm like an old man yelling at clouds. Like, I was like, no, I don't want IDP. Like that's stupid. And it was more just because I didn't, because in terms of fantasy, there's so many. Take a Barkley, man. My body's not even cold yet.
God, just hitting them, man.
just miserable, just piling it on. But anyways, like I've never played IDP before, so like I mean. I'm a Charger fan in real life, so I know Charger defenders, and I know a lot of the superstars, Micah Parsons and, those kind of guys.
Right.
But, just DST. I never had to look. It was a whole, like, I was excited about the challenge to look up actual DBs and linebackers and corners. And actually, I think I'm digging IDP. I did a startup Dynasty with IDP.
Nice. There you go. That's what's up.
It's cool. I'm digging it. It's a lot of fun. Higher point totals, except for this stupid guillotine league where I just got kicked. Although I will say I lasted a lot longer than I thought.
That was also your first guillotine league as well, right?
Yeah. And that was actually really cool too. I was digging it. I mean, I've done elimination leagues.
Yeah.
But this one's different. Yeah. But this one's different because I liked how players went back to the waiver wire after they were kicked out of the league. It was totally
That's
different.
guillotine for you, though.
Yeah, and I mean,
so go ahead.
it was 18 team as well, which is wild, and because your draft strategy goes way out the window.
It does.
With
So for
18
those of you
teams.
who are watching this, what is guillotine? What KingJosh was talking about, and what is IDP? IDP is basically individual defensive players. So guillotine, basically, each week a new team gets kicked out, and they're not kicked out of the league. I mean, they can hang around, they can chat, they can see where their players go, and root for maybe their boys who are in the league with them. But their players get distributed into the waiver wire. So you know how this hot week it's a lot of people might say it's freaking what's his face, Baltimore, Drake. So people are probably going after him this week. So I mean that's one of them. But again, this KingJosh's entire roster will now be available to the rest of us, to the rest of the 12 of us, because we started from week 1, went down to all the way now. We have 12 teams left. Tonight we'll be throwing in like multiple waivers, defense, offense, and trying to grab whatever you can to add to your team. Of course, you're be dropping players as well, just like a regular waiver. And that's what guillotine is until you have your last 2 Titans. And boy, those teams are going to be stacked. Now, the other question is, what is IDP? Individual defensive players. I love IDP. It definitely brings both sides of the ball to the game. You're wishing that your linebackers get a massive amount of tackles, and sometimes your running back runs into your linebackers and you get yourself double points. That's a secret kind of stack that we kind of like go with. We like getting players in division, something like that. Like in my Dynasty league, I have Miles Sanders and Micah Parsons. I know for sure that they're going to run into each other at least multiple times a week or a game, and twice a week. So just kind of quick rundown of what those two are. But again, thank you for joining. I know at the beginning you were like, oh, I don't know, I'm in like 20 plus leagues.
Yeah,
which,
that was
by
stupid.
the way, is crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. And I hate
now you
it.
don't have to worry about it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave your league. I don't want to talk to any of those guys anymore. All those losers. The real winners lose, so I don't have to partake anymore.
But your boy Rome is still in though.
Yeah, screw Rome. He'll be fine. He doesn't need me. Although I will say this for those of you that are still in the league, leave Justin Herbert on the waiver wire. He doesn't deserve to be rostered.
God, it was one bad week, and this guy's throwing him in the pits, man.
He threw 57 times and had no touchdowns.
What's 1 week?
That is the largest passing attempt without throwing a touchdown and a winning effort in NFL history.
Yeah, that is true. It's
gross. That was a gross game, period.
It really was. It was, but it was the closest that the Broncos have given us. So I was kind of like, what are we getting?
Just shows you how bad the Chargers are.
I mean,
they punched down to that competition.
Though. Yeah, but for IDP purposes, if you had Drew Tranquil or any of those guys, Mac, I mean, you guys scored really high. It was fun for those again, and that's what it brings, and I loved it because I picked up Drew Tranquil in one of my leagues, because Frankie Luvo from Panthers was out, so I had to quick swap real quick, and he did pretty good for me. But yeah, so let's talk about our IDP or basically our own segment we have. I like to bring with Mark, and it's our favorite defensive end right now. And you can be part of it, I guess, today.
Sure.
Since I normally bring it up Wednesdays or Tuesdays, and I've been trying to do more IDP waiver wire shows, but life just throws curveballs at you, and sometimes you can't always hit them. So, but I'm here today, so I'm glad you're here with me. So we usually bring up this guy. It's Max Crosby or minimum Crosby. And normally we talk about him like, is he going to hit or is he not going to hit? We don't know. So this week, I think he was going against Kansas City. Or last week we talked about Kansas City, but this week he's going against Houston. He was on the bye week. Last week we said there's no way he's going to get his over, or because normally
Patrick Mahomes, projected.
scrambles. Yeah, he normally scrambles, and you can't ever catch the guy. So we're like, nah, he's not gonna hit. Boy, was he proved us wrong. But then this week he has Houston, like I mentioned. So let me get him up here right now. Let me show him, that way people can see what I'm showing here. We have him going against Houston, and he is projected to go 10 plus points. So that's probably a sack and some yards. And yes, we do sack yards, some few tackles. So I don't know if you're going to be watching that game. Do you normally watch all the games, or just knowing your Chargers, or what do you normally watch?
I generally watch Red Zone, and then if a game does have my curiosity, like I'll log it. Like I was trying to or I did watch the Kansas City Buffalo game, and I was hoping for like some exciting game, but it was kind of like if you bring home the hottest chick in the bar, but then like you can't perform. That was basically that game. It was awful. But Max Crosby, what's funny that you bring up Max Crosby, because in my the IDP startup that I joined, Max Crosby's the guy that I have. I held him through the bye. I didn't have a waiver, or I'm sorry. I didn't feel like dropping anybody, so I just left him in my lineup because I didn't want to drop him. So I just took the L on the chin that week. But I'm looking at his stat line, for IDP. He's had at least 4 tackles every game. He's had a sack in every game except one. This guy's an animal.
He is.
Yeah, and then Houston's bad. He'll be fine. He's gonna, he'll rack up like 8 tackles and probably a sack or 2. He's a tough dude. So
yeah, he is, and only 25 years old, which is crazy. Really young. He's gonna be playing in the game for a while. And you mentioned Dynasty, right? This is Dynasty startup, so
yes, sir.
Players like this, you just don't drop. Like, you just don't. For maybe, like, if he has one bad season, then maybe you consider trading him. But like, Dynasty's a different animal. Sometimes you hold guys that you think that might do pretty good in the future. Rookies you hold in your taxi squad that you might presumably think that they're going to do best in the future. It's not like redraft where you just drop them, pick up another dude. It's totally different. It's essentially, Mark likes to put it as Madden franchise mode, but in real life, basically. So
yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think? Is he going to hit over 10 points, or that's his highest projected, by the way?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at his stat line in your league settings, he's hit over 10 every game except for once.
Yeah, we have a low settings.
Yeah, but and he was under 10 against Arizona, and Kyler Murray's like the fastest tiny man on earth. So and Davis Mills is a statue. And
right.
Dameon Pierce is a stud, but they're going to run it a lot for. I don't know. This season's been really weird, though. The Houston offense should be much worse than they actually are, but they're also bad at the same time. He'll absolutely get over 10 points, I feel. Especially coming off the bye week, he's going to be healthy, going to be strong. Now that the Broncos lost a game, division's a little more up for grabs in the AFC West. So, Kansas City just lost. So, they're going to come out swinging. So Crosby's, he'll be out for blood. Davis Mills blood.
I agree 100%. I also think he's going to hit over. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets close to almost 18 points in our settings. But, he'll probably it wouldn't surprise me if he gets 2 sacks and maybe roughly around, 9 tackles or something like that. A couple tackles for loss, sometimes maybe 1 or 2 of them. I think he's going to just, again, this is his highest projected up on Sleeper, but I would expect he's been hitting over. He could get a 20-point game almost by our league settings. So
but back to back 2 sack games. He's a special player.
He is. But yeah, that's a little segment that we do. So we're both thinking he's going to go over. I'll ask Mark tomorrow and see what he thinks. He's probably going to agree with me as well.
And for the record, it's hard to praise the Raiders for me being a Charger fan. I generally hate Raider players, but funny, fantasy football is weird because it makes you root for people you generally wouldn't have.
Right.
Like for the longest time, I hated the New York Giants, and like everything about the New York Giants, I thought they were annoying. It was mostly because of Eli Manning,
Right.
with his dumb face. And so then I was just like, I hated the Giants, but now it's like, man, like, Barkley's a stud. That Wan'Dale Robinson looks like he might be a thing. Kenny Galladay's the angriest man on earth.
Yeah. Hats off to Barkley. I'm so glad. Like he's a beast again. Like he's a special player. And watching him just run is just like amazing. Clearly the Giants would be nothing without him. Take Barkley out of there. Yeah. They're absolute trash.
Yeah, I mean if their running back was like Kenyon Drake,
yeah, they wouldn't be doing the same. So it's interesting to see how well they're doing just with him alone. With their fans of a receiver picking a guy. Hey, you want to play some football? Yeah, sure. All right, put this jersey on. Run this route. Yeah. If not, I'll just run it. But yeah, no, it's crazy what the Giants are doing. I'm liking what they're doing. I don't know how they're doing, and I don't know how they're really their record. They're just as confusing as my Falcons right now.
I don't know, man. You're an IDP guy. It's Kayvon Thibodeau. Guy's a beast.
But he was also not there for the first 2 weeks, though.
He was great last week. I watched that game.
He's going to be a special guy. I like what they're doing with him. They're putting him there. There's some plays, and I know for fantasy purposes, this isn't a lot of people don't like this, but he's dropping back into coverage. A lot of DNs don't normally typically do that. If he catches your freaking interception and takes it for some yards, I mean, you're going to be happy. That's going to be a lot better than some sacks. So,
yeah, but I mean, he's 6'5", like 300 pounds, and he can move. And he's quick. That's horrifying. So
yeah. I would not want to be with that guy in a dark alley. I mean, yeah. So anyway, so transitioning into our Max Crosby or minimum Crosby, we'll talk about our IDP waivers real quick. So as I normally start with, where are we at? I usually start with the big dogs. Give the big dude some love. I start off with who I have for my waiver picks right now. This coming in this Tuesday. Samson, I can never say his name. Samson Ebukam, out of Cleveland, and he is 81% snaps, 5 solos, 3 assists, and tackle for loss was 2. So definitely, one of those guys you want to check out. I mean, with Myles Garrett especially being out. Potentially with the shoulder injury. Let me actually check up his other stats that I had aligned. Because I think I actually typed that wrong, actually, to be honest with you. Hold on. That's not right. Where did I have him? My apologies. But real quick though, Sedarius Smith, let's talk about that while I'm looking up his stats for Landry, because I think I put
that guy's a stud.
Yeah, Sedarius Smith, if you're playing sleeper, you're gonna have both eligibility at linebacker and defensive line. So you could probably put him at versatile position if you need him there. Where did I put him?
I will say, like, me being new to IDP, I actually like the dual eligibility thing. Like, it's funny that you actually have Uchenna Nwosu on your waiver thing, because I was kind of like, pre-show, like, I'm new to IDP, so I was kind of like looking up to see like who were like the hot waiver claims for IDP. And I was like, dude, Uchenna Nwosu, man, like he was a player I was really disappointed the Chargers didn't bring back. He's a special player, and he's actually been great this year for fantasy. I actually have him in the other IDP league that I do. He's been a stud, and like I said, with the versatile linebacker D line play, it's nice. It's nice to have. It's nice to have that. It's like the Taysom Hill of defensive player. If you can, move him between the two positions, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so I knew that was right. I knew I was wrong. My apologies. I knew that was wrong. I have a linebacker who's from Cleveland. So I was mixing up with Alex Wright. So I just showed it, and which is on the screen. So I'm actually not looking at the screen, so I should be doing that. I just realized that I have him at Cleveland. He's actually for San Francisco.
Yes.
Yeah, my bad. I'm looking at I'm like, wait, that's wrong. So I'm like questioning myself. I have a linebacker from Cleveland. Jacob Phillips, which we'll get into. But I also mentioned I should have had Alex Wright. But he's also one of my mentions. He's at 40 snaps with 57% snappage. I know that's not like, you know, as high as Myles Garrett or anything like that, but they're kind of banged up. They're at the line. Jadeveon Clowney also kind of like didn't put anything up. So they're kind of rotating these big guys in. But if you're hurting at DL, Alex Wright could be there for Cleveland for you. But yeah, no. So let's go back to my bad. So that's out of San Francisco. That's who I was trying to mention. So again, these guys he put up 81% of the snappage, which is pretty good. You always want guys who's like probably over 57 or 50% or higher, because if they put up a good game now, defense, they switch it up. I mean, I've played around with Isaiah Simmons. One week he wasn't doing anything. Then the next week he put up only about 13 snaps or something, and it was a complete bonkers. Like, what's going on with the Cardinals defense? The Cardinals defense is much bigger in shambles than we actually think. But I'll get into that probably tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, so and then Nwosu out of Seattle. I like this guy. Again, above 50% in snappage, puts up 83%, 59 total snaps, 3 solos, a tackle for loss, a sack, and a hit on the QB. So sometimes you want to put these studs in these stud defenses where you can't find them. A lot of it has to be with matchups. Matchups from if the line is bad, sometimes you want to go for those streaming a defensive lineman from that line, because you know they're gonna cut through that line like a hot knife through butter. So sometimes your DBs that you look for, it's going against a really good quarterback. And people are like, well, why would you want to do that? I mean, he's a really good quarterback. Why would you want to put one of those DBs? Because the good quarterbacks usually like going deep. They'll throw the deep ball. So where's your safety at? Back there. So therefore, he's probably going to get the tackle. So there's just things like that I kind of look for. And that was a missed typo on me. But my apologies about that. So yeah. So moving on. I don't know if you wanted to put any mentions on.
Well, what I noticed too, like with teams, like for IDP, I try like outside of like your obvious studs, like like how you're just talking about Max Crosby and things like that. I look for teams that have bad offenses, because generally 3 and outs, they don't put up a lot of points. Defense is going to be on the field a lot more opportunity. Kind of like like you want the wide receiver with a good quarterback because there's going to be a lot of opportunity, or you want the team that has a great defense, so they'll have more opportunities on offense. I.e., like Tyreek Hill, guy's a stud, always open, gets a lot of opportunity, getting 10 plus targets a game. You want opportunity, or you want a team like Houston. I were just talking about Houston. They don't have a good quarterback. Brandon Cooks is still good enough, but Damian Pierce is going to get a lot of play, or Breece Hall, he's getting a lot of play because Zach Wilson's a terrible quarterback. So they're handing the ball off a lot of dump offs, check downs. Austin Eckler, great, because, or even Deion Jackson, the
yeah, that was crazy.
He had 10 targets, 10 catches, so like the opportunity's there. So for defensive players, I just tried outside of like your obvious studs, you want Fred Warner, you want TJ Watt, you want those guys. But if you need like some of these fill-in guys, look for players that are on bad offensive teams, because the defense is going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah, opportunity is key.
Yeah, because like on Fantasy Pros, like I was just checking out their little IDP waiver wire. A lot of these guys, we were just talking about Kayvon Thibodeau. Giants don't have a very good offense, so he's going to be on the field a lot. Uchenna Nwosu, the Seattle Seahawks, they're not shocking the world. I mean, they are shocking the world, but for other reasons. So he's on the field a lot, and
right.
That's just kind of like what I noticed. Like I said, I'm pretty. I don't want to say I'm bad at IDP. I'm surviving because I'm good at the offensive players, but I'm learning. I'm learning as I go, and
right.
that's just what I've noticed is just because like if you have a team with an outstanding offense and the offense is on the field a lot, you're not getting a lot of opportunity for your defensive players, and that's just kind of like, well, that sucks. So
Yeah. No, and it makes sense. Like you're saying, like the more opportunities they have, the more chance that they get a chance to get a sack or that interception or whatever you're looking for.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so so last week, I highlighted Nuoso because last week I was ready to go. I had a freaking show ready to go, but something happened. So he was highlighted. So he's basically on back-to-back waiver wire, and he's only on 35% rosters, like out there. So which is crazy. Like, go get him. He's going to be a good deal too. Deal 3 or something like that if you need it, depending on how deep your leagues are. But yeah, he's definitely one of those linemen you want to kind of look for. So
when you, not to interrupt you, but when you talk about availability, that's something I wish Sleeper would update. Because like right now, if you go on Sleeper and you look at like TJ Watt, it'll say like 2% rostered, and it's like, no, he's 100% rostered in leagues that allow IDP.
Yeah.
So as a whole, it's 2% because there's 2% of leagues are IDP or allow IDP players. So I wish Sleeper would differentiate that, because that's very misleading to me. Because like even on like the like I said, like I'm not the IDP expert by any stretch, but I'm just going through some of the things, and it says like, oh, Kayvon Thibodeau is 7% rostered, but that's not true. Like he's probably 95% rostered in IDP leagues. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. Be better, Sleeper. You're better than that. Do better.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, it's because IDP is something still new to people. And
people were weirded out by the flex, a long time ago. And super flex was like a what? What are you even talking about? Super flex?
Yeah, no,
that's
all
crazy.
These things are just new. So,
or even PPR, like my main home league, we were a league for like 4 years before we were like, we should switch to like at least half PPR to try to like offset, the balance between wide receiver and running back. And increase and tight end premium. I can see why that's so unique and special now too, especially because God, like look how disgusting the tight end position is. If you don't have Andrews or Kelsey, it kind of sucks. So
I don't even know. Tight end is just a crapshoot. It really is. It's so bad that I'm happy with 40 yards and 3 receptions.
Yeah, well, we talk about it.
Is.
Yeah, like every time on our podcast, when we talk on my show, the Filthy Fantasy Football Show, we always talk about with tight end, you want 50 yards and a touchdown. Like, and I'm stoked. Like if I can get either, if I can get either or, I'm happy.
Right.
And that's why it's funny is in our home league, we're having a conversation where we might just completely get rid of the tight end position and just make it a wide receiver tight end flex. So this way you can still draft Kelsey, you can still draft Mark Andrews, but you're not restricted to just, like you see guys streaming Evan Engram or I don't know who else.
Would have thought too, man.
Yeah. Like, you're like, oh, come on, please, Hayden Hurst, do something.
Right.
Yeah.
So, the best thing I say about tight ends is see how many targets they get. If you see the usage at target, that's kind of what I go for, because one of those are going to hit. One of those targets are going to be some reception that might actually count worth 15 plus yards, or even better, a touchdown. Cole Kmet came in hot this season. Like, oh yeah, get him. He's going to be a big part of this offense. And then by week 2, everyone's like, nah, screw this guy. I'm just going to dump him because they're not using him. So, that's just.
Well, to be fair, Justin Fields throws the ball 12 times a game. So.
Well, yeah, that's true.
There is no opportunity there.
No, there's a lot more going on in Chicago than we actually like. That line sucks. The coaching sucks. I just. A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, Justin Fields is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, you can't do anything when you have no weapons. You have no line. We've seen this with good QBs who have bad assets around them. It's just you can't do anything.
Look at Tom Brady right now. He looks
the GOAT.
Awful because the O-line can't block for him.
Right.
Like there's that video that just was circulating around the internet where Brady was just ripping into the O line, and it was awesome. I was very excited about that because it was nice to see that he's still very very much. I mean, he's willing to lose his marriage to like the hottest chick in the world to go play football in Tampa Bay. So it was nice to see him angry, but
You say it's nice to see. I think it's different. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, so now we're bringing him up. I don't know. Like, I've seen him blow fuses once or twice a season, right? It seems like with everything that's going on, he's been blowing a fuse every single week. And it's really crazy to see. Honestly, I feel like he should have just retired.
Oh yeah, I don't know why would you not want to walk out as the champ?
I don't know.
Like do it like Peyton Manning, do it like Elway. Just like I'm good.
Because now your legacy is your last year was just absolute trash, and that sucks.
And he looks all emaciated because he doesn't eat meat, and his wife, his wife's leaving him.
Yeah, he doesn't even look healthy. Like, and then when he's up on the podium, it's like he's so short. It's like, all right, well, whatever.
Let that be a note to you listeners: eat meat. Don't do any of that veggie crap. Doesn't work. It's terrible for you. It's awful.
All right, so moving on to the DBs. I have Jalen Hawkins out of Atlanta, Malik Hooker out of Dallas, and then DeMar Hamlin out of Buffalo. Again, these guys are not, your huge studs. I mean, obviously Richie Grant's probably better than Jalen Hawkins, but he's actually getting the same amount of snaps as Richie Grant. So he only got a solo and 3 assists and pass deflection, but the interception and took it to the house. So which shows, they're using him a lot. Obviously, being out there for 60 snaps is as much as the Falcons. I feel like that should be higher. And being a Falcons fan, I probably roast them more than anybody, and that's just just nature. We take a crap on our own teams more than the regular people, and they're like, oh well, you guys are doing fine. I'm like, no, they really suck. It's Drake London and crew, and that's pretty much it. So, other than that, I don't know how we're at our record, how we're tied for first. It's just pure luck. It wouldn't surprise me that halfway through the season we see Ritter just come in just for shits and giggles and see what happens. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see how that defense plays. I mean, the Falcons have, I would say, pretty good IDP players. And the loss of Deion Jones, I know people have been asking me how do you feel about him. It's kind of the same feeling a lot when we lost Julio Jones or Matt Ryan. It's like they were there for years. I felt like they were part of my team, and now they're gone. It's like, well, what am I going to do? I mean, it's a business. It moves on. The next guy up, I guess, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then my next guy is Malik Hooker out of Dallas. Obviously he's no Diggs, but I mean he's still putting up numbers. Obviously he's 82% of snaps. Got himself 10 solos and 2 assists. I mean, what does that tell me? He's pretty much everywhere. This guy's flying through the field. Like every single time I saw there was a play, this guy was on my screen. That's kind of the player you want to see. And not to mention when it comes to high tackles, I have one guy that I brought up. He's actually on the thumbnail, and that's Alex Singleton, which we'll show in a bit here. But once we get to linebackers, so and then my last guy out of Buffalo, Hamlin, Micah Hyde is still injured. If you need a safety, he's still available. He's still there. Him and Poyer are putting up good numbers still. Poyer, in my opinion, is one of the best safeties in the league. But when your offense is doing really good, it's like, well, your defense is like, well, we're here. But I mean, 7 tackles, not bad. I mean, it's a touchdown and some yards if you compare it to offensive players. But yeah, so those are my DBs. Nothing too flashy, nothing too great. But I mean,
I actually have 2 DBs of note that I think people might be interested in. Ryan Neal, the safety for the Seattle Seahawks. Last week he had 6 solos, an assisted tackle, a sack, tackle for loss, pass deflection, a forced fumble against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about, with Uchenna Nwosu, talking about, Seattle offense they're going to have a lot of 3-and-outs. They're going to have a lot of short drives, a lot of opportunity for there. And then I was looking into Kyle Duggar, safety for the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
He was hurt, but now he's healthy. Well, I guess. But in his, in this game back, he hit similar six solo tackles, 2 assisted tackles. He had an interception and he deflected 2 passes. And then, they're taking on Chicago this week. So Justin Fields isn't very good. Actually, that's not fair. Justin Fields isn't that bad. It's his team is awful. Like they,
I don't blame the guy.
Yeah.
I let everyone talk a bunch of crap about him. I let him have their piece. If they need the vent, they need the vent.
Yeah.
I believe that he's still a good player. Next season, he's going to do fine. They're going to be rich as hell, and I hope they just do what they did for him like they did in Jacksonville for T-Law. But time will tell.
They talk about how he's the franchise quarterback, future of the franchise, and they did nothing to help him in the draft. Didn't draft an offensive lineman. Yeah. You drafted Velus Jones, who is like the oldest wide receiver rookie of all time.
I didn't like that pick either.
No, that's a terrible pick, especially because there's better receivers still on the board. Like if you wanted to get receiver, and then like I said, look at their offensive play calling. You're throwing 15 times a game. Like what's funny is a couple of weeks ago I let out like the angriest rant about the Bears on the podcast because I was talking about I drafted Darnell Mooney in a number of leagues, and they were behind Green Bay the entire game. At one point in time, they were never leading, and they still just ran the ball. They never passed. I was like, you're losing. You're losing. Like, why are you not throwing the ball? But I mean, with that being said, though, Kyle Duggar, I think he's got a good matchup this week against the Bears. Because they're turning over the ball a lot of fumbles, a lot of picks. Plus, also side note, the Patriots offense, they either get Ramondre Stevenson who runs for like a 98-yard touchdown run or 3-and-outs. Their offense hasn't been that spectacular either. So it could be a lot of opportunity for the defense there. So I think Duggar might be a name you kind of want to keep an eye on.
I would keep an eye on just because every year he's always that waiver wire darling that comes in every year. Every year, I swear to you, he's there for you. Now I'm going to tell you why I probably wouldn't start him though. That's just me though. You can if you want, if you feel like.
Hey man, I'm trying to help, and here you go. You're just gonna just stop. I'm kidding. You stomp all over my advice.
No, but I want to give different perspective because it's kind of like, look, IDPs, it's different. Nobody.
Hey man, this is your domain. Do your thing.
You're good. The fact that they don't pass enough. Yeah, they don't pass enough. There's not going to be as much opportunity. I would assume that the linebackers, the front 7, would dismantle the run game right away. And that's pretty much what the Bears are doing right now. It's going to be hard for anything for even get past 10 yards for them. Kyle Duggar is just going to be chilling like an outfielder in center field, absolutely doing nothing. And that's just how I feel about it. Like I said earlier, I mentioned I like starting DBs against really good quarterbacks. Why? Because the ball's going to be downfield. Your safety's downfield. Linebackers, 100%. Linemen, 100%. But the DBs, safeties on this game, not so much. And I just steer away from that. But, I mean, again, if they put him in the box, there is that opportunity. And they kind of use him kind of like at flex play anyways. And they put him there too as well. So that could be the opportunity there for him. But that's just my perspective. And I'm not saying you're wrong. IDP is a different animal.
You basically were like, Josh, you're an offensive guy. You just got kicked out of the guillotine league, so you clearly don't know anything about IDP. You're clearly bad at this.
Hey, look, I'm the idiot who typed in Cleveland on the wrong freaking guys because I had my linebackers messed up on my freaking Excel sheet. So, you're good. But no, I understand. I typically don't like doing that. But again, Kyle Duggar is a special player, and they put him in the box.
So, he's a good player. I like him.
Yeah.
Plus, got a defensive head coach. So
right. But no, I'm not trying to take a crap on you. Me and Mark argue about certain things all the time, especially our other guys in the freaking Panda Grizzly. I argue with Brian all the time, but we agree to disagree a lot on things. All right, so main key here. Let's talk about the linebackers. Linebackers for sure are what we definitely all want. Even if you're in a smaller IDP, linebackers are for sure the main captains of that league or of that team, and what puts up more points for you. So but before that, we have Bob Dole. What's up? Question here. Should I try to trade Lockett and Juju and Brian Robinson for Fournette? It's a lot of dudes for one guy.
Depends on what your wide receiver room looks like after that. I mean, if you're talking about moving Lockett and Juju, I'm assuming you have a fairly deep wide receiver room. Maybe, I don't know. Fournette's fine. He's been good, especially in PPR. I mean, I don't know. I probably would. I don't know what your wide receiver room looks like.
Right. Juju has been a big disappointment, man. He's been a big disappointment. Not the numbers you've been wanting, according to what we all think he was going to be. For Dynasty, I'm obviously holding him. I feel like he's still young. He's still on a good offense. Maybe they change it up. And Lockett has actually been a lot more surprising than what we actually expected. Brian Robinson just established himself in that offense. I still need to see you take that look. And I was arguing with Mark. You take that touchdown away, Gibson produced a little bit more yardage wise, and what he used. I mean, he didn't get as much opportunities, but he did something of it. I know a lot of people
he's got Hill and Jefferson. Yeah, dude, make that trade. Get rid of Juju. And it's full. Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah.
Hill, Jefferson,
and Godwin. Yeah.
Godwin.
Okay, yeah, stop flexing on us, Bob. We know you got a great team. Yeah, make that trade. Get Fournette, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically trading guys like who aren't really, you don't know yet. It is a lot of dudes for one guy. So since you're just saying Hill and Jefferson, yeah, for sure. I mean, why not?
Yeah, you don't need I mean, I don't know. On our show, we called that out. We were like, dude, Juju needs a true alpha wide receiver opposite side of him. Like when he was fantasy relevant that one year when we thought he was the Dynasty 101. It's because Antonio Brown was there, and then, now he pulls out his junk at people in swimming pools but that's besides the point. There's no true alpha. I mean, obviously, there's Kelsey, but Kelsey takes, over the middle of the field, which kind of takes away from Juju because Juju's kind of like a slot. I mean, he runs 9 routes and stuff too, but I don't know. Juju, he's going to have good games, and Lockett's been surprisingly great. But, dude, Brian Robinson, that team's a mess. I mean, I call him the Washington Bullfrogs. I think Commander's a stupid name. But
I remember.
But the Bullfrogs are a dumpster fire. So if I could get out of that offense, and if you're full PPR, man, Fournette, he's like the wide running back like 5 right now in PPR. So yeah, dude, make that trade all day. Good for you. Yeah. Way to trade rape somebody. I appreciate that.
I mean, hey, you heard it. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, if Fournette's
nice too. Well, I'm sorry. Make your point.
No, as Fournette's producing. I mean, way more than most of these guys. I mean, what's nice is Robinson. So
you're moving 2 extra players. So now you got some bench spots. So now, I know tomorrow you got your offensive waiver wire, but now you have, now you can start looking towards the future. You can pick up extra defense if you're streaming defense. You can pick up another tight end if you're trying to stream tight end. If you got a quarterback on bye week, you can now plan ahead because now you're gonna have 2 extra roster spots, and hell yeah, make that trade. Good for you, Bob.
Plan for your bye weeks right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. So also got our Spoiler Kings says Brian asked how many sacks does Mac have? Okay. So Brian my lovely co-host, I guess, of the Morning Spike, has a bet with me saying that Khalil Mack will get double-digit sacks, which I'm not disagreeing, but he also can't remember what the exact number was.
He's at 6.
He's at 6 now. So he's averaging 1 a week. I mean, I know he had 3 like week 1 or 2, but if you average it out, it's 1 a week, right? They got Seattle, then they got the bye, so he's probably going to get another one next week. Then they got the bye week, then he's got Atlanta, and then San Francisco. We'll probably get 2 more, 3 more by the time we even get to Kansas City week 11. He never gave me a number. So you tell Brian to find that stupid notebook of his, because I'm not doing a spike bet for him until it gives me an exact number. He better start searching now, because I'm not doing no spike bet shot. If you're not familiar with the spike bet, the Morning Spike is a show we do here on this channel. It's the entire Nerd Huddle comes together. All of us come and we just kind of clown around on Sunday mornings. But we give out our info as like what we think is best for start sits and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm not doing that spike bet until he finds that notebook. And I'm pretty sure it was, there it is. He found it. It was 16. Okay.
Oh, he's not going to make that.
Ooh, you hear that?
I don't think he would. And I'm a Charger fan, man.
I don't think he's going to make it either. It's going to come to a hole, and I think I don't think he's fast enough to get freaking. Look, he's. I'm not saying he's slow, but he's also 31, and it's a young man's game. At some point, his body's going to be like, all right, I need to slow down. I do like the bye we get at 8. It's a nice recovery time right in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he gets Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he gets Kyler Murray. And if Tua comes back, I don't think well, maybe Tua, but I'm not sure. But 16 is high. I'm not look, if we're still on that spike bet 16, I'll do that spike bet. But I don't think he's gonna get 16 either. So yeah.
He'll probably end the year with like 12 to 14.
That's what I would guess.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, so in the trade, he has Marquise Brown. I could try and bundle for him and plan on IR while playing through my defensive kicker.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because D-Hop's back.
I'm like, no.
I don't know. The rumor had it that he might miss the rest of the year. I know they're talking about the 6-week thing, but dude, he already broke his foot once or twice. So
the rest of the guys make fun of me.
Dynasty?
And I think I'm the only one on this island, but I don't think D-Hop is going to be D-Hop anymore.
Oh, he's not.
He's call him Julio Jones 2.0. And then they're like, they don't like that. I'm like, well, it is. He's hurt all the time. He's getting hamstring issues. Look at Julio. He's following the same footsteps, injury, and then this PPE thing, which if he's without them, is he going to get hurt even more? I don't know. I don't believe that he's just going to come in and be everybody's savior. I really don't. This Robbie Anderson trade kind of changed things a bit. Even then, it's like, I don't think he's going to be all that either. But could prove us wrong. I don't know. Fantasy football and real life football is 2 different things. Their playbooks might not match up what we want. Like Saquon not getting that touchdown that you wanted at the end, but that was real life football, and there was benefit to them to win that game. But fantasy managers wanted him to score, but he didn't. But that's just the way it is. Cardinals are in shambles. The offense is crazy. They just lost another lineman. Yeah, I'm totally out on the Cardinals.
Although I will say this, Bob, be careful if you try to see if he'll lump in another player, because next thing you know, you're going to turn him off to the trade. And now the first trade, your 3-for-1 deal, he might not be into it now. I mean, you could ask like, hey, what players are you planning on dropping? And then maybe toss them my way if you're dropping someone decent. But I don't know. Sometimes you just got to, don't get too cute with it, just
stick with that trade.
Yeah.
You're getting a valuable running back, and running backs are dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Actually.
Like, well, look at the first round running backs. I mean, Eckler's finally been great, but Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon's been okay. Dalvin Cook's been. So I mean, if you can get a top 10 running back right now for pennies on the dollar, yes, do that.
Right.
Don't burn bridges and screw up that trade but by trying to be like, oh yeah, give me Hollywood too, because now he's gonna now if you're looking at the trade as a whole and you're going Hollywood, Fournette for Lockett, Juju, and Robinson, now he's gonna be like, nah, dude, that's way too much. So just take Fournette, take the bag and run.
Yeah, especially if he's the one who offered it too.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's talk about these linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously everyone was excited about Alex Singleton. This sucks. I really wanted to showcase him last week during my IDP waiver wire, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But I'll mention him. Yeah, you want to get him. But be worried about that because he's going to be valuable there next week. But then or if you're really good at linebacker, check out Josie Jewell. He's going to come back and he's going to just take a spot back. That's just the way it works. Singleton's going to be good for you. Josie Jewell's going to come back. If you need to stash him. He'll be back sooner than later. But those were the guys I wanted to talk about. Yes, they're on the same team, and yes, they play the same position in Denver, but it is what it is. But look into that. But my guys I'm thinking about is Jacob Phillips at Cleveland. This is where I made that mistake. It was a typo earlier. Again, my mistake if you're part of the defensive line second earlier, but 100% of the snaps. He's out there 70 snaps. Like, that's insane. These guys just are out there the entire freaking time on defense. 4 solos, 6 assists. That's crazy. And he's only 25% rostered, so he's there. Anthony Walker obviously was gone week 3, so it's kind of been beneficial to him. JOK's he's actually out snapping JOK. Yes, I know one's inside, one's outside, but still as a linebacker for fantasy football, I'm taking Jacob Phillips over JOK, and you probably drafted JOK over this guy. So if you need a linebacker, I say Jacob Phillips is probably definitely one of those guys you want. Especially with the recent news of Myles Garrett potentially with his shoulder, he's planning on playing, but I would imagine that his snaps go down. So which means Phillips is probably going to have to probably play a little bit more on that edge side, or they probably use him more. So again, he's probably one of my guys that I'm thinking of getting. My second guy, Zaven Collins, Arizona. He's probably the only Marcus Golden and him is probably the only 2 guys I want from that defense. Isaiah Simmons is got too many questions. But he did good last week. It's just I don't know that I don't like the defensive coordinator. I don't like the way they're running things over there. And it sucks because I actually have Isaiah Simmons in my Dynasty league, so it's kind of hard for me to say that, but it is what it is. But yeah, Zaven Collins, he's 50% of your rosters, so there could be a chance he's there. Check it out. But here's a guy who's definitely alongside Wilson in Cincinnati is Jermaine Pratt. This guy was supposed to be the number 1 linebacker, the keys to the car, the green dot, whatever you want to call it. But Wilson obviously coming in his second year took over that spot, and he's out there 81% of the snap. Got himself 5 solos, 9 assists. So that's good. 9 assists is pretty high. He's definitely involved in the defense. He's definitely there alongside with Wilson. So these are my 3 linebackers I think that I'm kind of want to get. I believe Zaven Collins. I don't think this year he has the eligibility for defensive line on sleeper, but it wouldn't surprise me if next year he does. Again, he got 5 solos, 4 assists, pass deflection, and 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Those could have been freaking sacks, and then it would have been 4 sacks. But hey, Zaven Collins is probably one of my favorites this week. So yeah. Anything you have, Josh, or any linebackers that you kind of
one that kind of, because I was watching the Green Bay game pretty closely. Quincy Williams came back from injury. He had 14 tackles against Green Bay. He actually has a pretty good schedule coming up. He's got Denver, New England, and Buffalo coming up, and how you were talking about how you like them playing against good quarterbacks. But I mean, I don't know. He's not rostered like ever.
DBs. DBs.
He's a linebacker. Quincy Williams?
I'm saying DBs against good quarterbacks.
Oh, well, still.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But anyways, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you got some good matchups.
Sorry, man.
Drew Tranquil, crushed Russell Wilson, had a sack, interception, all that other stuff. Quincy Williams, in theory, could do the same thing. And the Jets defense has been very good. And again, their offense, circle back to talking about opportunity. The Jets offense isn't that great. So there could be a lot of defensive opportunities for them this upcoming week against Denver. I mean,
yeah.
If you're sports betting like I do, man, take the under. I'm sure the under for this, I haven't checked the spreads yet, but the under between Jets and Denver is probably going to be like 38. So it's going to be a low scoring game, very defensive game. That's a linebacker I kind of was taking a look at.
No, yeah.
Do you like Rashaan Evans still on the? He's a Falcon. He's pretty good, right?
So I prefer Walker over him. And I know he's banged up, so but I prefer Walker. We drafted him a couple years ago, and he's immersing. We lost Fuase Luokan last season, and now we definitely lost Deion Jones. So the two guys that were basically the linebackers for the Falcons last season are no longer there. So Walker stepped up, and that's the guy I'm if you're a Falcon fan and you gotta have a Falcon, that's one guy I'm looking at. Obviously Grady Jarrett as well. He's one of the top linemen there. So, but yeah, no. But yeah, so linebackers, it's different, man. Like I look at mediocre quarterbacks for them. Like Teddy Bridgewater is one of my favorite linebackers to stream against because he doesn't have that deep, strong ball. He likes to throw these short passes, and Russell Wilson too. This season cannot throw these deep balls worth of crap accurately. They're all short plays. Like yesterday's game was just nothing but short plays. And then when he couldn't get the ball out, he would run. Your linebackers are there. I'm streaming linebackers against this guy, Russell against.
That's why Quincy Williams could be interesting. And then, because just expect a lot of checkdowns and throws to the tight end. The hot offensive tight end pickup, Greg Dulcich. You'll be right in the middle getting tackled by Quinnen Williams, getting you points.
Yeah. I just, And I agree. I just, because I don't really consider him good this year.
Well, he missed a couple games because he was hurt, but now he's seemingly healthy.
I'm talking about, wait, hold on. I'm talking about Russell, right? I'm talking about two different guys. My bad.
I was talking about Quincy Williams, but no, Russell Wilson, they actually talk about him. They claim he's hurt. They says he has a bad hamstring and a bad back.
That guy's gonna play through it. I mean, the guy played through a broken finger and was ignorant as hell and still wanted to play. So he's probably gonna play.
I think Denver just is embarrassed that they paid this man, almost $300 million
and they're not doing crap with him,
to just be Drew Lock, who they could have just kept and paid him like $10 million, but
and it's he might have a good game against them. I presumably would say he would against them as well. So I mean, the Jets, like you said, opportunity is key. So yeah, I'm not against that either. So other than that, though, I mean, I got. Is that pretty much those are my only three linebackers?
That's the only guy that I kind of saw in terms of cool. Who was trending. So
okay, no, and that's a valid pick. So I know. Let's see who. So week 7, we don't have any Bills. We don't have any. I didn't even look at who are the bye weeks right now. I just concentrate on the waivers right now. But
it's like Bills, Rams. Actually, I have it right here. It's Bills, Vikings, Rams, and Eagles.
Okay. Pretty all decent guys or decent
on
teams.
both sides of the ball for both teams. So
yeah. But no, to circle back around to what we might see on Sunday with the Jets in Denver. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Jets actually beat them.
They will. I think they will. They're playing okay football
and defense alone.
Yeah, heck yeah. And then the Broncos just look bad. I mean, look at the sideline. They're joke memes, but at the same time, there's some truth behind everything. If you look at all the pictures of all the offensive skill players just giving nasty looks, staring daggers at Russell, Denver's in trouble.
Yeah. So, the only thing holding them up is their defense.
Yeah, their defense is outstanding.
Obviously, this guy is one of the main reasons.
Guy's a stud.
Dude, this guy was everywhere, man. 19 tackles. Like, this guy was literally everywhere. He played like this when he was with the Eagles, too. This guy was literally everywhere. Alex Singleton is just, that defense, they know that's all they have. Putting up 23 points in our league, which is that's quarterback numbers, running back numbers on a good day, receiver numbers on a good day. That's all they have. You can't forget about Baron Browning either.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good linebacker as well. If he got himself a sack and a weird interception that he fumbled immediately, and that's why he plays defense. He got 3 tackles, a QB hit, and 2 pass deflections. So again, I'm okay with Justin Simmons against Zach Wilson next week. I believe in this defense, and that's pretty much all they have. Offense, whole different story, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Jets beat them though. But I mean, fantasy football this year is you think you're gonna get what you get, but then you get something completely opposite, and it's so freaking weird. I know you it's like what you said at the beginning. You were like, I hate fantasy football. It is what it is, but
Yeah. It's frustrating. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a grinder, especially because, man, in almost every league preseason, I loved all my drafts. I was like, I thought I drafted very well, and it's just been diarrhea all over my phone. It's very disappointing, and very, very, very sad. Very sad, man.
Is there one league you're happy about though?
No, never happy. I'm always sad. Well, because what's funny is I have a dynasty league that I'm the reigning champ in it,
mm-hmm.
and I'm at that weird phase of do I try to run it back, or do I try to trade away my assets and and be better later? The problem is I don't like losing. I always want to win.
Nobody likes losing.
Yeah. I want to stomp the throat of my opponent at all times, and I don't care. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make a run for it, and I'm trading away draft picks and young players, and I'm like, nah, let's just go for it. But no, I will say this: it was disappointing to get kicked out of your guillotine league, but it was fun. I had a blast doing it. It was cool.
I thought you'd be happy.
I'm just happy that
one less team you have to worry about.
Yeah, it's one less team I have to worry about, because honestly, it's Tuesday night, and when we finish this show, I'm going to spend the next 2 hours combing waivers on all my leagues, and it's just exhausting. There's a league I straight up just stopped making moves in it because I just don't care. I set the lineup, and I'm like, whatever's there is fine. I don't care. It's like the leftovers in the fridge. Yeah, it's like there's the leftovers of the fridge. It's like, I'll eat that. Let's oh hey,
what
the Rasta
up,
man.
Anthony? Hey, you're good, man. You got
but it's just like I said, it was the problem is this, like I said, it's nice. Hello, Anthony, you beautiful man. Congratulations on you guys inheriting my raw. I had good players on that team too.
You did. We're all looking.
It's because everybody underperformed, and that really killed me. I drafted very well in that league. I was making good waiver moves, but that's the name of the game. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was just. I just don't like losing, even though, like I said, it's one less team I have to care about. But I don't like losing, and I get mad about it. And I mean, you saw Rome's meltdown during the slow draft. I mean, that's just me all the time during the season when my teams are losing. I'm just upset all the time.
Oh, that was actually pretty funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's hilarious watching a grown man. And then, you guys don't know him personally like I do, like the text messages I get and things like, it's just like, come on, dude. It's although I will say this, he doesn't hold back. He lets his feelings be known.
That's
He's
good,
a very
though.
passionate man.
That's good.
So
I like that because that's me on our show, and I kind of keep it clean, but I will go the extra. I will say what I need to say. Um, you know, Sunday mornings it comes down to it, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like everyone thinks I'm crazy about this D Hop thing. Like that's the most heat. I've even got more heat. Like I got asked about personally from some of our viewers on the Discord. I'm like, I just don't believe he's gonna be their savior. Say what you want to say. Now this Marquise Brown thing has just changed.
I will say this about D Hop though. Him coming into the year right now, this is the healthiest he will be this entire season. He's going to have the freshest legs on the field, and Kyler Murray does look for him. Now, the only downfall is, though, this man hasn't played football in months. So, and he's had soft tissue injuries in the past. That's why he was doing steroids, allegedly, probably for the recovery and things like that. Honestly, I don't think D Hop did anything with bad intentions. He probably just got bad advice because I think a lot of pro athletes that people don't understand, they're really stupid. These guys don't know anything. They're just athletically gifted and have been coddled and babied since, grade school.
If you think about it, their only average age is 23 to 28 years old.
Yeah, they're kids.
They're young adults.
And they get bad information, because he probably went to some trainer who goes, hey, have you heard of like rich blood platelet treatments? Yeah, like here, take this supplement. Like, let's take some blood from you. We're going to spin it, put baby juice in it and shoot it back into you, and you're going to feel great. But then, he gets flagged on a piss test. And it's unfortunate because I truly believe when he said like, hey, my body's a temple. I monitor everything that goes into my body. He probably just didn't even know what he was taking because he probably has a coach or a trainer who goes, here, take this.
You trusted him 100%.
Yeah, but I think I do. And with that being said, the problem is like sometimes soft tissue injuries can easily occur because now he's about to hit the ground running at 1,000 miles an hour. But I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good for a couple weeks, though, especially right now, because now that Hollywood's gone, Robbie Anderson's not that good of a football player. I think D-Hop will be. Like, if he's active on Thursday, I'd play him. I would absolutely start him, especially because, man, you've been holding on to him for 6 weeks, so play him.
Right.
So I see Anthony's comment of he scored too much but got scared. See, but you can't tempt the fantasy gods. You have to play.
Yeah.
Because if you try to get cute with it, next thing you know, you're me and your team is stacked on paper, but then you underperform and now you're out of the league. And now I'm getting cuckolded watching you guys like looking out the window having fun, and I'm out in the cold playing with myself. So.
Yeah, so I have first look at as I deplete each team, and I'm going through this, and I think there was only 3 guys I was like, I do not want those 3 guys. Everyone else is like, I can upgrade at every position. I'm surprised myself, because I thought you were the one who had freaking Parsons, but it's actually Rome.
Yeah.
So I got that confused.
Well, I had TJ Watt, but him getting hurt kind of hurt my team.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I didn't want to drop him because I thought I would have made it a lot longer. I thought I'd be, I don't know.
Right. And,
I thought I'd still be in it.
You gotta last Martin until it gets purged. No, hey, look, Anthony, it's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, when you guys pick the corpse of my team's roster, there's some great players out there now. So
something's gonna happen, Anthony. You're gonna mess up. The fact that you got scared kind of shows something. I don't know. Like I thought you were gonna bench him. I really thought there was guys that were like 30 points below us, and you're like, nope, I got scared, and you put him. But those are the risks that you kind of gotta take or not take. You played the safe route. Now you're up there with a higher waiver wire on 10, I believe. I didn't expect my guys to do as well as they did. I just streamed Gesicki and he scored freaking 2 touchdowns. I was like, well, that kind of hurt me, but also I'm surviving. So you don't want to score too high, but you don't want to score too little either. So
well, I had Kyle Pitts, who's now on the waiver wire, so you can deal with that.
I'm okay with that. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I don't know, man. He's one of those players. It's like I don't know. It kills me to say too. It really does.
I don't even know if I'd want him in Dynasty right now. Like in all honesty, like it's just I don't know. Gross.
I think Dynasty's okay.
Nah,
I think next year they'll change. Look, he's gonna be there for the next 4 years, right? You wait till the game or consecutive games that he pops off, right? And I think that's when you probably trade him for something.
No, Arthur Smith needs to get fired. That's
very true, 100%. That
how do you have the most athletically gifted tight end of all time, the highest drafted tight end of all time, and you don't throw to him? Makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. Especially like all the constant mismatch that he is. He's 6'6", like 250, and can run through like a wall. Like, why do you not like? I don't get it. Like, I don't. You always assume that they see things that we don't because they're the guys in the front office and we're the guys watching on our phones and on TVs eating nachos. But it's like there's no way they don't see these. Like, there's no way. Like, how do you? I don't know.
No, I don't. No. We could only judge from afar, but sometimes a lot of us, the community, we're all right and they're wrong. I mean, there's only 32 spots. Essentially, those 32 are probably the smartest guys in the game in the game.
I don't know, man. I've heard Bob Jones, or what's his name? Who owns the Cowboys? I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Jones?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry.
Yeah, dude, the guy's an idiot.
He knows how to draft. He's like, though. He knows how to draft. That's the only thing I'm going to give him.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be the GM anymore. He could still have like an input on things, but
yeah, that's true. He's getting up there.
Pick six got in his head.
Yeah, I was going to read that out. That Hofanga one from Rome.
Yeah,
got in his head. This is also Anthony's first year playing IDP and also guillotine. So a lot of guys that join this league it's their first time. But again, I'm glad.
Feel worse that I got kicked out now. That I lost all these other IDP virgins.
But I put you in the right spot where everyone's at.
Because I am the smartest man alive when it comes to... I'm kidding. I'm the fantasy king. I have a reputation to uphold. No, I'm kidding. It's fine. No.
You're good. You're good.
It was a bad week.
I put you in with equal leveled, people. People who've never touched either of it or any of that. So,
it was a lot of fun. If you guys do it next year, I'll definitely be interested.
So next year, I actually have something in the works. I've been talking about the last 2 seasons. It's going to be called the Build of Blocks. As you draft, you get an extra block of players. That's the first name that came to me. Essentially, just like the draft, you draft your players, but this particular league, so far it's running smoothly. The test run year. Week 1, you start with one guy. That's it. You can either be dead last and get first waiver draft pick the following week, or you could be first and get yourself, that win right away. Following week, you get your second player. Third week, you get your third guy. Fourth week, fifth week. You add up one guy each to your roster. Injuries do happen. You got bye weeks happen. You got to freaking manually strategize your next draft pick for the. So it's essentially you're drafting each week for a new guy that's adding to your team, and you kind of adjust to way everything's being adapted as the season goes by. I mean, Najee Harris is probably not gonna be drafted. Like if you were to do it now, if we started to build the blocks now, Najee Harris is probably not gonna be overall number one. Why? Because he's poo-poo pants. He's not doing anything right now. Like anything that you wanted, you would draft, guys like Saquon. Saquon would probably be, up there with number one. It just adapts. You adapt as the game goes. You draft as the game goes, but one guy per week. So Anthony's blowing up our chat here. So Josh Allen, Jackson, Evans, only guys I've used off waiver. Interesting. Those are the only guys. Wait, is that Josh Allen I haven't even looked at your roster because ours changes so much. Josh Allen, the DN, or you don't have Josh Allen. Braden, that's the DN. I've played IDP before. Not my first time. Okay, my mistake. So just first time in 8 years, but definitely my first time in guillotine. Okay, all right, okay. And I had like 105 points, but everyone projected 95 to 98,
See?
and that was too close for me.
That's why you don't test the fantasy gods.
I don't
play.
Yeah.
Play.
I don't know. Projections for me is really weird. I don't know. I'm a gut guy. I don't go by projections. Oh, Jonathan Allen. You know how many J Allens there is? There's another J Allen DN. Come on, Anthony. I thought that was Josh Allen from the Jaguars. But yeah. I'm glad you joined. And I'm glad you had
fun. It was fun. It was fun.
So,
it was fun. And I actually like slow drafts, despite what Rome says. I actually enjoy them. I think they're fun, especially because you can live your life and do things. And then you look like, oh, I'm on the clock. Although I will say this, for all you slow drafters out there, how dare you never check your phone? If you're in a draft, be considerate of other people. At least look how
tag
do you
the
not
next
look
guy.
at your phone? We were even talking about that in the draft chat room, going does he not go to the bathroom? Who doesn't touch their phone when you're dumping out? Right. What psychopath doesn't? And you don't, I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. Cause I mean, if I'm at work or I don't know, conversing with my significant other, I always look at my phone.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Especially if you're in a draft, it should never take you more than outside of going to bed at night and you go to sleep and then the clock activates and you just happen to still be sleeping. Outside of that, it really shouldn't take you more than 2 hours to make a draft pick.
True. I mean, I understand maybe if you're working in a mine and you're working 8 hours in there, maybe, but I mean, you would be considering, hey, I work in a mine. I got no connection down in a hole, so sorry. But that's something probably the only guy I'd probably give excuse for. But
I don't know, man. If prison inmates can send out Snapchats, you can make a draft pick in a slow draft within an hour. No excuses. Sons of bitches.
No way. I was glued to the slow draft, even more than a 30-minute fast draft.
The
thing was, how was I supposed to get 18 different owners to agree to a single day at such a short period of time?
I was in so many drafts, I could be getting my drafts confused, but wasn't there a guy in a different country in the draft? Or was that a different draft? Am I thinking of a different league? That might have been a different league. I was in a league and there was a dude who lived in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. I played with Aussie guys before, and that might have been. I was in one draft. I had an Aussie guy.
Well, they're dude, 16 hours ahead of us, and he made his picks very timely.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I think I might have told you that I was in a draft. I remember actually talking to you about that. They had one guy in the. I might have gotten sleep confused, but no, I was playing with someone in Aussie.
So that's the problem. I was in 6 slow drafts at the same time, so it was just meh.
Yeah, they wake up extra early.
Yeah.
But yeah, no way. No way you can't. Slow drafts are awesome, and yes, we had a guy that booted because he didn't respond. That was on you, guy. That was on you, my friend.
Wait, I think I vaguely remember that. Like didn't he say like, yeah, I totally want in, then like he timed out on an 8-hour clock.
Yeah. That
Man,
was
look at
the guy
that.
Anthony brought. Anthony brought someone in. I'm like, okay, this is your boy. Go ahead, and did his first pick like 4 or 5 hours into his first pick, and then the second one he timed out. And Anthony will not claim that, but I'm like, no, you typically drove to the draft. You brought someone to the draft, right? They came in the same vehicle as you because you brought him into the draft, and he's not gonna pick. That's on you, my friend. Anthony, I love you, but that's on you, my friend.
You brought someone to the house party. They drank all the booze. They took an upper decker in your bathroom, then they left.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. All right. We're hitting an hour and 20. I did not expect to be here this long, but
because we're new best friends, that's why. Talk all night.
Hey,
24 hours. Man. Let's do this forever.
We've been waiting for this episode for a while, even off season, and you know, we had some disagreements.
Texting each other and all that
stuff. What's up, Rasta? But no, we hit on we agreed on a lot of things. We disagreed on some things, and it's all good. But again, I can't thank you enough for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And what do you mean that was not you? You know who he was. I didn't. All right. Okay. That is definitely your boy. I will go back and scroll through this and actually say, and now I will show everybody here and whoever who's watching later or tomorrow, they will see that it was you, man. Nah, we weren't in the same car. He got there and I was like, oh, I know you. Yeah. Okay. We'll
still brought him to the party.
What's an upper decker?
Oh, Sandy, you sweet little angel, you.
All right. I'll let her
Sandy, my darling. An upper decker is when you defecate into the top tank of a toilet where the water feeds into the toilet to flush it. They call it an upper decker because now when you flush, just poo water goes into your toilet. And then, you got it's just a mess.
It's the new brown Clorox tablets that you throw in your tank.
But it makes things dirty and it's disgusting.
So yeah, hey, you know what? Anthony, go ahead. You guys are doing a show tonight, right? Go ahead if you want before we end the show. Go ahead, drop that link in there. If anybody's catching this as we're done, go ahead. If anybody wants to watch them, Get Right Fantasy Network. I actually have them. They're friends of the family. And another, if you look down in the description below, KingJosh from the Filthy Fantasy Football Show here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You have Twitter, Spotify. It's all in the description, guys. Look it up, click on it. It'll take you there. So
we're everywhere. You can find us. If you liked my childish sense of humor, it is a lot worse on my show. It is disgusting, but fun. We have a good time. So we're basically a guy in a league chat. He had the best description of my show. It was, if you like the fantasy footballers, we're the fantasy footballers after dark. So we're the not safe for work crowd.
That's very true. What a hub, them boys.
I love that guy. He's one of my new best friends. Love that guy.
Yeah.
I think his name's Adam.
He was one of our very first moderators to my show. So I am excited to have him. He's actually, I love this guy so much. He's actually in the test run for our new Build a Blocks League. So we shortcut it the Bob League. So he knows exactly what's about to be rolled out next season. I took him over Anthony, and Anthony's a little jelly about that, but it is what it is. No show tonight, really. Check and Chase tomorrow. Appreciate it, and got Josh on the Get Right soon. So yeah, for sure. I mean,
Anthony, slide into my DM whenever you want. I'm available.
We're probably gonna talk later after the show, anyways, when we're all putting our scounging this guy's players anyway. So look at everyone's just jumping in as we're about to end. Look at this. This is what I expected earlier. Where are you guys at, man? Ryan, all right. Real quick. Trade Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, or Winston. And how are you, Ryan? Welcome in.
I don't like any of that. I don't like any of those names involved in that trade. That hurt my feelings.
Aaron Rodgers for Matt Ryan or Winston? I feel like you keep.
I'd rather keep
Aaron
Rodgers.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, you don't know what you're going to get. And Winston is just an old man with a broken back who.
I would make that trade if the Matt Ryan or Winston manager would throw in something else. If you're trying to upgrade a different position. But otherwise, keep Rodgers.
Yeah, I know you're not. And that's why I used it. But it's all right. Look, no, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Because you're usually like, oh yeah, I'm jealous. Like I a lot of these people, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I have to prove you wrong in a lot of stuff. I can rewind a few episodes. It'll take me a couple hours, but I'll show you. I'll cut them out. I'll put them on there. I'll put an overlay. It's fine. No, keep Rodgers. Anthony agrees. And also Winston is the new Tony Romo. Ouch.
I don't know, dude. Tony Romo was fantastic for fantasy.
I don't know if I agree with that. Tony Romo just got old, and then Dak was a new hotness. Tony Romo was the old and busted. Just what it is. And sorry you're late. I'm a little sick today, and it was not. Hey, your health is more important than watching us. It's fine.
That's not true. That's not true. This is why you won't win, Dem boys. I don't know.
It's all right. He's also
he got kicked out. He got kicked out of the guillotine league too.
He did.
Yeah, we're both losers. Very depressing.
Anthony, I'm telling you, you're next, brother. You're next. Coming up soon. There's only one of you left from the Get Right, and that's you. Romo was way better than Winston Anthony. Look.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah. Look, it's just Dak came in and he just took over.
Do you see the way Dak moves his hips? Of course he was going to be the starter. He does that dance.
They don't lie.
He's sponsored by a mattress company now.
They don't lie. Okay.
Right. Every time about me, Anthony, that hurts.
You're gonna just he's not even down yet. We haven't even gotten his players, and you're just kicking him. You're just kicking him.
It's okay. I'll we you know what? Get me on your show. We will discuss things, and then I can berate you via. Face me like a man, Anthony. Say it with your chest.
All right. Well, again, thanks for coming in. Tomorrow I will be here. Wednesdays are our funnest shows. We talk about whatever in the hell we want. Usually the traffic is a lot higher, and we just talk about literally whatever the chat wants. We love Wednesdays. Sometimes we've been in here like 2-hour shows. It's crazy. I don't understand, and it goes by fast. But yeah. So here, there's a ping pong table. What is that signifying to? What? That's.
Oh, Ryan. So you keep Rodgers? Do you play Rodgers or Lawrence? Rodgers sucks right now. Who's Jacksonville playing?
Now how do you play? I like Lawrence. Not this week. I don't know about that. Let me.
Oh, they're playing the Giants. It's not that scary. Although the Packers are playing,
but they're playing Washington. Yeah.
Play Rodgers, I guess. Probably.
I love what they're doing in Jacksonville.
Nah, dude, play Lawrence. Lawrence, dude, he was like their goal line running back.
Look what he did against the Chargers. I like Lawrence. I wish I sucked that year in order to get him in Dynasty, but I don't think I'll ever get that low ever. So to have a nice, fancy, cool 101 pick, and I have a hard time trading first. So, but yeah. Anyways, thanks, Ryan,
for Adam, giving us. Thanks for listening to our show. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, guys, again, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining us. Hey, KingJosh, again, if you missed out on that jersey, and I don't know if you actually wanted it, I mean, we're giving out one every 100 subs. have a
I
memorabilia.
don't need your pity sympathy gift.
Hey, look, I want
to win like a real man. I don't. This is like, don't treat me like I might cry. I'm hurt right now, but I'm vulnerable. Although, it's funny. You're actually in our my show's Friend of League show, and we're actually in the process of launching merch, so I'll send some stuff your way.
Okay.
I'm just lazy, and I haven't approved any of the designs and stuff yet because it's annoying. But I know it's in the link below, but I'm gonna self promote real quick. So yeah, we're the Filthy Fantasy Football Show. We're very vulgar and fun. We have a good time. Adam Demboys, he will vouch for that. We are on all podcasting platforms. We're in the process of going video, launching merch, and a bunch of other things. We have some giveaways coming out and stuff like that. We're just trying to log a bunch of stuff to give away. But stuff costs money. We're an independent podcast, so donate money. Give me your money. I'll start selling feet pictures or something. We'll figure it out. We're on Twitter at Filthy F-Ball Show, Instagram, which we don't use, but Filthy Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. It's there. Yeah, we don't use it, but it's there. We have you can email us at filthyfantasyfootballshow@gmail.com. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm around. I'm just a guy. You can always hit me up. I'm around.
Hey,
so I'm not
you
famous.
heard it. If you're looking for those exactly things, they're in the description below. Click
delicious.
on it, join it, and yeah. Wow.
I do, Anthony. I send nudes. If don't you tempt me with a good time, it's gonna get weird. It's gonna get very Deshaun Watson up in here if you're not too careful.
Hey,
what, too soon? After like 66
No,
counts?
not at all too soon. I think it's fine. He's about to roll out here in the next, 6 weeks or so. So I'm excited for that. But we'll talk soon again. Again, thanks, Josh. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
good morning, good evening, good night. Say goodbye, Josh Allen, as you always do. And we will catch you tomorrow as my co-host Mark and I kind of just talk about whatever the hell you guys want, typically on Wednesdays, because Wednesdays are fun nights. So again, catch Josh, KingJosh, that is, and Rome and Fantasy Fish on their podcast. Again, link in description below. Good friends, good family. Again, thanks for coming on, and I love you, dude. Dude, you're great. I love listening to you every day.
If I could, I'd kiss you on the mouth through the camera. I would too. I'm not afraid to admit that.
All right. We're going to end it on that.
Too. I'll kiss your mouths too. If you want it, come get some. Kiss everybody's mouth.
All right, guys. Good morning, good evening, good night. This is Dynasty Pylon Show. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate.